Well, I'll tell you all that I did a little extra work into these doves and finally came down to where one little thing I've done was I finally put the little slogan labels on them and decided to coat that with super glue, and as you can see with the light of the video, decided to cover the rest of the bellies with super glue as well, because that would kind of make it so that the tail alone would not be the part that the stain would not show up on, or the finish, or the oil, or what we soak it in, or whatever. So, you know, the fact that we kind of wanted all the underside, including the tail and the stomach, to be all one color was kind of the reason we decided to do that, so it would kind of leave it plain in more than one place. And I've decided for this very moment that it is at the time where we can finally add in the little hooks. I debated how I would do this with what materials I had, and these hooks like this just happened to be the ones I could find, and so it comes down to where we sort of like have a hole in the back of the dove where we are going to sort of make the little hole go in and try to put it in place where it's going to need to be, and then try to get the work together where it's going to come out a little better even in things, and then just kind of brighten the world to where we got a little diagonal hole in there where we place this little hooky through and then try to get it in and take it where it's going to be little thing for the dove to hang on. And I'd say maybe for this once it wouldn't hurt to just make a little tiny hole with the Dremel. You really don't want to use the Dremel as a drill because that will ruin your bits. For the most part, it's just not a wise idea to do that. I know about that because I tell you, when I was a teenager, I did it a lot with the Dremel I had and was always ruining my bits that way. And so we're going to try to see whether this is the way it's going to work, because it might end up being a little trouble coming down in the long run, but we're going to try to screw this in and try to make it so we're going to have it go like right in as for the way it should go in, and then kind of know what it's going to come down to when we finally finish screwing this little hook all the way into the bird's back to try to make it so it's going to hang in a good position for what it is going to be. To time in all, we put it all down to the work of what we see and what we do when we make these little projects come along in this very, very way. Turns out we just tried a way that is not going to work. It would probably be a shame with a hook this big to have to try to put it in the top of the head, but I tell you, you know, I've been busy, I've been tired, I've had a lot going on. It's been hard to keep everything together, so it's been even more difficult to try to keep everything in a place where I can find it. So these are like the only hooks I can find right now. So that's kind of the thing we sort of, for this point, just have to use and maybe make another little Dremel hole. And careful again so we don't ruin the bit, but got a little ways to twist the thing in to make it so it's going to be where we can kind of see a little light and all we do and say and make sort of little ways to do little things. And oh, this birdie, we're gonna try a little harder to get it in, maybe even just do it this way with the little wire cutters. That might twist it in a little bit better. That's kind of what I have to use for a lot of things these days, and so, and that's why they call it folk art, to that matter. You know, they say that folk art is what you do just using whatever materials you have, and so that's kind of why we go about this, taking whatever materials we have and trying to make the best of them. Try to settle for what's the least amount of work, but turns out to be too much sometimes. And it looks like this little hook is not going to go in, and that is a shame. We're gonna try other things later on, see what else might work if this doesn't, because apparently it is not, and not going to. So try to twist it in a little further, and it seems like it's going a little better ways in now, and kind of getting where we can almost get it in the rest of the way. I will tell you that we spent a long time on this video just trying to get this little one in, so am thinking I might kind of do the other one separate, and while I am at it, may even consider just going ahead, getting out this little wood burner, and while the rest of this we may be doing separated from the camera, this is a little work I'm putting into mind where we are just going to make little lines come out as for what they need to be or ought to be, and take this little burning pin to do just exactly that. We're going to put the initials and the year on the back of the tail here. I see. And so that's probably how it's going to be on the next one too. But I'm going to stop right here just to try to finish that last part of the next one. And just took a short pause there to come back on now and tell you all that I've gotten all the work finished now, and one more thing I had to add on was holly, which is the wood. Got all the details burned into these, got the hooks into both, the labels, the glue, everything that needed to be done with both of these, and do believe we're probably at the point where we can now put a finale to this series about the dove. And after these have soaked in the oil a while, we can come back on, and it won't be on YouTube, but there will, if nothing else, be a picture on the Facebook business page. Thank you again for watching.